Around 2 to 3 months ago, I spent one full day doing everything that I could to perfect my productivity. And in that one day, I came up with 9 main things that I now use every single day to actually enhance my productivity. Okay? So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what those 9 things are. Not going to waste any more of your time. Let's get straight into it. No fancy edits, just me, you, and my board, okay? I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Let's get straight into it. Number one, I already have it written down, sun plus grounding. So what this means is I have it right here on my habit tracker. Every single day, as soon as I wake up, I go out, and if it's dark out, I just kind of get artificial light. But if the sun's out, I go out and I go out, I look at the sun, number one, and number two, I just like have my bare feet go on the grass and I walk around a bit. If I'm being honest, this whole grounding thing, I have no idea how it works. I just know like Gary Brecker talks about it, and I just trust him. And yeah, so grounding, for transparency, I have no idea what it does, but it makes me feel good. If that's just placebo, then I'm fine with that. Placebo effect is still an effect, so I'm still getting the effect from it. And number two, sun. I know this is good. Andrew Huberman talks about it. It basically just it like makes it so that your circadian rhythm is set up so that it's easier for you to wake up at the time that you've just woken up. So as soon as you get out, sun immediately and ground. This is something that Gary Brecker did like when he lived in New York. He would like do something called like the Four Corners walk, where like he would go to a park, take off his shoes, and just walk around all the four corners of the park. I just kind of do the same thing in my backyard. So I just kind of go do a few laps in my backyard. Yeah, that's number one. And do this as soon as you wake up, okay? Like it should be the very first thing, especially the sun, because that's what's going to set your circadian rhythm, and it's going to help you wake up easier tomorrow morning and all the mornings after that, okay? Number one, sun plus grounding. Number two is eat the frog. I'm actually going to put this a bit further down so we have more space. Two, eat the frog, okay? ETF. So this just means as soon as you wake up, obviously after you do this stuff, get into the hardest work possible. So for example, today, as soon as I woke up, I spent 2.5 hours writing for this module that I'm building. I wrote about like 4,500 words in those 2.5 hours. I mean, just eating the frog, doing the hardest thing possible is going to make you feel so much better. Because let's say your eat the frog task is your cold calls. You wake up, you do your hand human stuff, you sun, you ground, all that stuff, and you get straight to the work. When it's 8 9 a.m. and you've just finished the eat the frog work, you've done more in a few hours than younger you would have done in a week or even a month. You're gonna feel so much better, and you've already conquered the day by conquering the morning. Okay, eat the frog, do the hardest thing you can as soon as you wake up. Okay, number three is the carbs rule. So carbs rule. What the carbs rule is basically, it's very, very simple. All you have to do is don't eat any carbs before your work day is over. So for breakfast, if you have breakfast, and for lunch, try to eat none or very minimal carbs, okay? So I break this rule. For breakfast, I have like a breakfast burrito, and it has like a bit of carbs in the tortilla, but that's it. So try to have as little carbs as possible while you are kind of in a work state. So while you're eating breakfast or lunch. But then for dinner, it's like the inverse. For dinner, you want to have as many carbs as possible. If you're like me, you want to put on weight, obviously carbs is a really easy way to get calories in. So at dinner, when I don't really have any more work to do, that's when I can actually kind of indulge in the pasta, the pizza, all that nice stuff. But before that, during my work, I try to have as little carbs as possible, and ideally I'm having no carbs at all, because carbs is really going to be like fats and proteins. Is honestly, this is complete bro science, but the way that I understand it, fats and proteins, they're like digest in a different way, and carbs are like really hard to digest for you. So no carbs before around 6-7 p.m. when you stop doing your work and you start to eat dinner. Okay. Number four, have a look. It is your work environment. Work environment. Okay. So some key things is that it's gonna be more about getting rid of stuff than it is adding stuff in. Your desk should be obviously clean. It shouldn't be messy. If it's mess and it's filth, that's level 0. Like you need to do that shit immediately. You need to get rid of that shit immediately. Something that you should not have in your desk, which I actually have on my desk right now, is your phone. When I am actually working, I first of all, I put my phone in airplane mode, and then I just throw it, like my bed is behind me there, I just throw it onto my bed. That's the first thing. Get rid of your phone. If you have like a laptop, get rid of your laptop. You should have like, just only the minimal stuff that you have, that you need. If you have a laptop, literally it can just be your laptop. But your mic, your headphones, like only the very basic stuff. You should really be focusing on removing things. And in terms of adding, I would say number one, obviously water, and number two, papers. So stuff like this habit trackers, and you can't see it, but like on my PC, I have a bunch of papers with like my protocol, my 15-minute pre-work protocol. So like the protocol I do, which we're actually going to get into in a second. But like the 15-minute pre-work protocol I do before I get into my work, my weekly input goals, stuff like that. Make sure your environment is set up for work, not only in your physical environment, but digital as well. So as you can see, I have nothing open. Now I have nothing open. No Discord, no school, no Instagram, nothing open besides your work, okay? Number 5 is the 15-minute pre-work protocol, which I just spoke about. So I just wrote 15 min. So I'll read it out to you right now. So this is exactly what I do before going into work. And this only takes between 5 and 10 minutes, maybe less. But I start it like 15 minutes before my work, just so I have adequate time if I want to spend extra time on it. So what I do is, first of all, I plan exactly what needs to be done. So what exactly do I want to do? Is it 100 cold calls? Is it I have to build this onboarding flow? What are you actually doing? Number 2 is give time frames. So maybe your 100 cold calls, I want to do them in, I don't know, 100 minutes, okay? That's obviously, don't use that as your time frame. Think about it. What's a good time frame for the work that I'm doing? And this is time frames. So maybe you're doing 100 cold calls, then you're doing X task, then you're doing Z task. Give a time frame for each task. Then get everything ready. So for example, obviously, something like cold calls, you need your phone. Get the things that you actually need, and the tools that you need ready to do the job that you're about to do. After you've done that, optimize your environment. So this is where you close Instagram, you close Discord, you chuck your phone away, you make sure that your environment is perfect and ready for work. And then I say this, it's like kind of like I guess like an affirmation. I say, I am now in work mode. Nothing else matters until the work is complete. Say that, and it kind of, align yourself and make sure that you're ready to actually start to go into the work. And then this is actually the next one. I think it's the most important one that nobody does and nobody talks about. Is a 30-second stare. So what I do is I kind of wait until there's like 30 seconds left in a minute. So maybe it's like 10:47 and 30 seconds. And then from 10:47 and 30 seconds to 10:48, I just look like at the corner here until it turns to 10:48. So like if it's 10:47 and 30 seconds, from 10:47 and 30 seconds to 10:48, I just stare like right at the corner. And the way that focus works, it's got a lot to do with your eyes. If you're looking around and shit, you're more likely to be less focused. But if you're just focusing on one thing, like specifically, you're going to be more focused. That's kind of like the whole Andrew Huberman philosophy around focus. So if it's like 47:30, all I do is I look right here for 30 seconds until it hits 10:48, and that's going to in some way, it's going to spike my epinephrine, my acetylcholine. Honestly, no clue about the science, but I just know that it works, okay? The next thing is set timer. So I just come onto YouTube, and I was like, I don't know, 30-minute timer. You can see I've been using that a lot recently. 30-minute timer. And I just have this playing in the background just to kind of push myself. Because especially if you have a task, well, you could do it in like 10 minutes, but maybe it takes you 25 minutes. Setting a timer, and it's like a challenge. You're like, okay, I'm going to do this in 10 minutes. It's going to make it more fun, and it's going to actually make you do the work quicker. Okay? Set timer, and then start. So as soon as I set the timer, the work starts. That's number 5. Number 6 is the other habits, okay? Other habits. So the other habits on my habit trackers, here and here, are going to help you a lot. So the main 2 that come to mind are meditation. That's obviously going to help you with mindfulness. It's going to help you refocus and just be more focused in general. And gratitude journaling. And it's going to help with mental health and just being in a good state of mind. And being a positive person. So meditate, gratitude journal, some other stuff like the health and wealth tracker. If you want a full video on exactly what habits I do, comment it and I'll just make a video on that. So just other habits I do obviously are going to help me with my focus. Number 7 is align to 50-year purpose. So align 50-year purpose. So what I mean by this is whatever the work task you're doing today, align it with where you want to be in 50 years. So for me, let's say in 50 years, I want to have built my own education system. Me doing work today is going to be it's what is moving the needle to get to that goal in 50 years of making my own education system. So that makes the work that I'm doing today super purposeful, and it makes me very driven. Okay, so if you can have a massive 50-year goal, And then you can do, like, what I'm doing today, the work that I'm doing today, is like a small micro step and like on the path towards me in 50 years reforming the whole education system. Yeah? Very, very powerful tool. Number 8 is school timetable. School. Oh shit, that's not how you spell school. School. This is I dropped out, guys. I'm not good at spelling. School timetable. Okay. So, have you ever kind of stopped and asked how did a system take 350 kids in a year who were all brain rot on TikTok for 10 hours a day and make them show up 5 times a day to different classes? The way they did that was with a timetable. And so obviously, if they can do that with like these dumb kids like I am, then it's a pretty powerful system. So the same way schools use timetables, I use a timetable for myself. Okay, it's kind of like a military style timetable where it's like 4:15 wake up, 4:15 to 4:30 habits, 4:30 to 7 do deep work, 7 eat, right? Making a predictable timetable for every single part of your life is going to make it a lot more systemized, and it's going to make your life a habit. And when you make your life a habit, then the work's going to be very, very easy to do because your work is literally a habit. Okay, so make your entire existence like a timetable, so you know exactly what you're doing at every single hour of the day. So another thing is like the cool thing with this is that if you ever get distracted, all you have to do is just come back to the timetable, and just like that, you know exactly what you're doing. Okay. Number 9, the last one is imperfection. Imperfection. Okay, so what I mean by imperfection, the best example of this is Iman Gaji. So Iman Gaji, he probably looks like the opposite of imperfection. And what I mean by this is the way that Iman Gaji talks about AirPods. So AirPods objectively are bad for your health. You can go look at the research and shit. AirPods are not good for you. They fuck you up. But Iman Gaji still wears them. And he talks about it, and he's like, I understand AirPods are bad for me. I understand like maybe when I was younger, eating pot noodles was bad for me. But it's the only thing that I can use right now. So I shouldn't be like, spending too much time overthinking about it. Because realistically, it's not like, unless it's like a massive thing, like my arm got chopped off, obviously that's a big health risk. But those tiny health risks, obviously you want to be perfect with your health, but if you spend so much time stressing about it, it's gonna worsen your health. So kind of being free from the stress of worrying about like the micro things, like, oh, my boxes are 3% nylon. It doesn't matter. Like the very, very small things, not thinking about them and being imperfect in that way is gonna release like a lot of stress from you, so you can just keep on focusing on the things that do matter. Because realistically, I could go get boxes that are 100% cotton instead of 97% cotton, and that's gonna have a 0.001% effect on my testosterone. Or I could not think about that, reduce my stress, and focus more time onto my purpose, onto my mission, and that's gonna obviously have a much bigger benefit. Okay, those are 9 things. Let's get a recap. Number 1 was sun plus grounding. Number 2, eat the frog, so do the hardest thing as soon as you wake up every single morning. Number 3, no carbs before dinner. Number 4, your work environment. Number 5, the 15-minute protocol. Number 6, the other habits. This is getting bigger and bigger. Number 7, align to your 50-year purpose. Number 8, create a school-like timetable. And number 9, be okay with imperfection. Obviously, not in big ways, but in these tiny ways, like 97% cotton, because you want to put your mind on things that actually matter. Okay, so let me know if you like this kind of style of video as opposed to hyper edited shit. If you do, leave a like, subscribe so you can see more videos like this. You can see some of my newer videos which are similar to this. And the big thing is comment videos you want me to make. I'm gonna look in the comments, and the suggestions from the comments is gonna be the videos that I'm gonna make next. Okay, so make sure you do that. Thank you for watching. If you've watched like this like 14-minute, 30-second long video, and you've stayed focused and you're listening to me right now, I can definitely tell that you're not like a normal person. You actually have some level of attention span, which basically nobody has. So I definitely applaud you for that, and I can tell that you're definitely going to be successful. Okay, so if you are a beginner agency owner, click the first link in the description, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye bye.